Aloha, everyone.
Aloha,
I'm Rev Rita.
and I'm Rev Patrick, episode 2, by the way.
Yes, of Get Real with the Revs, and we're here at our center, CSL Kauai. And if you don't know where that is, it's on Kauai in the middle of the Pacific Ocean here on the Hawaiian island of Kauai, if I haven't said that before. And we wanted to just tell you a little bit about ourselves in case you're tuning in for the first time. And I thought I'd get out, Patrick, these 10 reasons CSL Kauai might be for you, or Center for Spiritual Living might be for you. And number 10 is, why don't we read? I'll read them. Do you want me to read it?
No,
Yeah, I'll read it.
Top 10.
Top 10. Okay. You consider yourself spiritual, but not religious. You dig Buddha, Jesus, Yogananda, and Oprah.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear we are all one, you totally get it. You honor all faiths, backgrounds, lifestyles, and paths. Number 6, you feel God is within you, not outside of you.
Number 5, you like the idea that happiness is the new normal, which we definitely can use now. You are called to belong to a spiritual community. You're done with dogma.
Number 2.
Love is who you are.
And number 1.
You're ready to become the person you came here to be.
And what do you think that is? The person you came here to be.
Yes.
Well, we believe that you're revealing this presence, this divine presence, call it God if you want, in every moment, that we are not becoming that because we already are, but just realizing that's who we are. And there's many paths to that, and we believe in those many paths, but we also know that there is one path, and that is the path of our divinity, no matter which way we express it, and that it's love. And so today our discussion is going to be about masks.
Ah.
Like mine has a little pineapple on it, just because I'm here.
You.
Oh, you're right. You can't hear me if I'm talking with it on. Mine has a little pineapple on it because I'm here on the island of Kauai. We love pineapples. But
blue for boys.
Yeah, we talked about this a little bit on Sunday, and the topic was basically behind the mask. Who is behind the mask? Mm-hmm. And so Patrick shared a little bit about his experiences as Spider-Man that he did for 10 years, was it?
Yeah,
10 years back, a while back. And actually I met him when he was Spider-Man and coming off his career as Spider-Man.
Marvel Comics,
but
retiring.
He had a whole bunch of experiences and really relating to this idea of who's behind the mask. So we were going to have him share that in maybe a little bit more depth than he did on Sunday. So you want to
well, and that's why we have, there he is. Whoa. This is a one piece. And yes, I was in that one piece. It zips in the back. So you can just imagine it was, as we say in spiritual terms, very revealing, as it were. But it was a special time in my life. 10 years with Marvel Comics, traveled all over the country and outside the country, and doing signings, comic book conventions, Macy's Day Parade. But what I got out of it was incredible to put on a mask or a suit, and no matter what was going on the inside, everyone had their illusion of who I was as a superhero. And my firm belief is that we're all superheroes. As a matter of fact, our founder, Ernest Holmes, says that there is a power for good in the universe. Sounds very, very superhero comic book, doesn't it? There's a power for good in the universe, and we can use it. And we go a little step beyond that. We can use it. Why? Because that's what we are. So what's incredible about being a superhero is that it reminds me so much of who am I? I'm Spider-Man, but who am I really? Superhero? No, who am I really? And that is spirit. So I know that this costume called Reverend Patrick and this costume Reverend Rita, but underneath it all, the very thing that breathes in Patrick, breathes in Rita, breathes in each and every one of you, is this energy that we call by many names but needs no name. It's the very breath that I'm breathing right now as I'm speaking. And I'm thinking and I'm knowing that we have these superpowers that we get to use. And it's not a childhood comic book. It's the actual book of our life that we get to write, that we get to each chapter to unfold from this place of spirit. So we come from it and we become it. And I think it's interesting that sometimes we need a mask to show that sometimes. And we're finding now that it's what's underneath the mask that really counts.
Right. Do you want to tell one of the little stories you had of Spider-Man?
How about the little boy?
Yeah, with the little boy, or if you have another one, that's fine too. But
I
not
have
everybody heard it.
I have
so.
a million of them, but this is something that illustrates what's really at the very core of our being, at the very soul. People call it soul sometimes, the very core. So I was doing an event, and the one thing that I loved about the Spider-Man time is that I did a program that was for child abuse prevention, and basically, in a nutshell, Spidey would appear to all of these children and adults, and that's what got me interested actually in New Mexico, is that I worked with a lot of the social workers there, and I would do these presentations. They were about an hour, and what it was that he disclosed that before he became Spider-Man, he was a boy and a child just like everybody else, and when he was in his teens, he had been sexually abused. And you could hear a pin drop in those stadiums and those audiences, a pin drop, because here was this superhero. And he is disclosing the most secretive, the most private, the most intimate thing that you could possibly do, which is most of them are keeping secrets. So that's the whole idea. So here's this superhero exposing himself as this incredible, authentic, vulnerable, so that these children can understand. So, needless to say, the whole point behind it was that if Spidey could do it, that they could do it. So what happened was, I was in the back changing. I had taken off my one piece, by the way, and the head is drooping over on my chest. And I'm breathing and just thinking before I have to go back. And a little kid must have been able to get in there. He's probably about 8 or 9, zipped in there. And I was like, oh my gosh, my secret identity is no longer a secret. I'm Peter Parker. No, I'm Patrick. And here he can see me, not even half the suit, just the head exposed as me. And he ran up, and it was too late. I couldn't do anything about that. And he ran up and he said, Spidey, that was really a good job you did. And he said, with everything that happened to you, I just want you to know that you turned out really good. You turned out really good for all the bad things that had happened to you. And then he took off. And it gave me that understanding that he never really saw the suit. He saw what was underneath the suit. He saw the real essence, and I think that's what really, really hits me when I think of Spidey and superheroes, is that we have these secret identities, so nobody will see us. Nobody will see us. And we do that in our lives, right? We walk around going, let's put on another mask so nobody will see I'm sad. Nobody will see I'm whatever it is. Nobody will see that I'm happy even at times. And so it was really incredible for me to have that experience, because it made me think, wow, he saw the real deal.
Yeah,
Get real with the Revs.
He saw your essence, and you're exactly right. He saw your essence. You didn't even need the mask. He still saw your essence, and that's all he saw when you had the mask on. So it brings me to these masks that we have been mandated in some places to wear all the time when we're out in public, or when we go to get our food, or when we're with other people. And a lot of people complain about them, and yeah, sometimes they're uncomfortable. And I'm not here to talk about the mask really, but I am here to talk about the person behind the mask. And I know for myself, whatever I believe about this mask, what I know is that the thing that really matters is the person that's putting it on, the real person behind the mask, not the one that's susceptible to COVID and might catch it or has it or whatever, but the real pure spirit behind the mask, which is our true identity. And I know that some people at this time are very scared and uncertain about what's going to happen in the world, or wondering if we're going to wear these forever, or just scared behind the mask. And I know that fear is one of the greatest enemies to well, Ernest Holmes even said that greatest enemies to humanity is fear. And it's also a way that we kind of we're out of control of what we really know and believe when we're in fear. And so I know whether we put this mask on or don't have it on or whatever, it's how we're putting it on and who we believe within ourselves is behind that. Because when we actually believe of the power and the presence that Patrick was talking about, that power in the universe that we can use, putting on this mask will mean more. I mean, it'll mean everything, or not putting it on will mean everything. But so I did an exercise on Sunday, and I got feedback that it was very powerful. And it was just to go into that state, to take a deep breath and just center ourselves, who's beyond all of this, beyond this world of experience, which is just an experience that we signed up for because we came here to planet Earth, and we came specifically at this time to live through this and to even go deeper into who we are. That's what I believe this is all about, that opportunity to go within and really center. So if we could just take a moment together, whether you have your mask with you or not, or maybe you could do it at another time.
Or just put your hand
Or
over.
put your hand, and just every time you put this mask on, to take a moment to just center, go slowly and center on who's actually putting it on. Now, I'm not going to put it on now because you won't be able to understand what I'm saying, but who's pulling the elastic behind your ear? Who's taking a deep breath and saying, I'm ready to go into Costco, or I'm ready to go wherever I'm going? Who is that? It's not the temporal person, the person living in the world of form. There's someone behind that whole experience. You're the person that showed up, but you're not the totality. The totality is something greater, the knower that's behind everything, that knows exactly who and what I am, that I am presence. So I encourage you to possibly do this exercise on your own and just go really deep and take a moment, a private moment, and think about that. Think about who you are, because that place within you, the place the little boy saw in Patrick, has never been touched by anything. It's just pure spirit, and it can't be affected by anything. It's just pure spirit, and it is our healing place, our place of total and complete knowingness that we are actually above and beyond all of this. And that's what's going to get us through this time of COVID-19, of all this racial tension that we're feeling on our planet, and everything that's happening. And as we all rise up as our true selves, we can make it through anything. And we are going through a shift right now. Wouldn't you agree, Patrick?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so, yeah, just because we have to follow some rules that are being put in place for our own good, or however it's being done, doesn't mean we have to forget who we are, and doesn't mean that we have to forget our power. And that's what I wanted to say today.
Well, I think it still goes on, that idea of the superhero. And every superhero has a secret place, a secret hiding place where he or she goes, or that secret identity. It always made me laugh about Superman, because his only talk about illusion, his only mask was his glasses when he was Clark Kent. The rest of the time he was Superman with his head fully exposed, but they were so focused on his superpowers. And what I was thinking right now is that, as you were speaking, is that we have this secret place inside of us that we can go to anytime we want, that we don't have to wear a costume, we don't have to wear a mask, we don't have to do any of that. We can just take the opportunity to reveal the true self. And I think that that's the place that we're at in our world right now with all these changes, is that we're finally taking off our masks. Whether or not you have them on or not, we're taking them off, we're taking off the costumes, we're taking off anything, and we're daring to say, this is who I am.
Right. And even when we have the mask on, like I said, we're revealing a deeper identity.
Absolutely.
And that's what I see happening. This deeper identity of love is coming through this whole experience, and is actually the thing that will prevail in the end of it. It's going to pass. This whole thing's going to pass. COVID-19 is going to pass. Everything.
I mean, this is not who I am. That's what I was for 10 years with Marvel Comics. I put that on, and in the eye, there was an illusion that there was a Spidey there, a superpower, which there was, but that superpower doesn't have much power as we're looking at it right now. It's just kind of deflated. And so what I'm offering all of us is to allow ourselves to be inflated, allow us to be blown up in its highest capacity as spirit, and then go out in the world and just watch what good we can do in our cities and in our places and in our lives and in our family and our strangers and on and on.
So as we close here, I'm just going to take a moment to do what we have, which is affirmative prayer, which is we call spiritual mind treatment, which is just knowing the outcome of what we want already in place. It's not beseeching, it's knowing that whatever it is that we require right now is already in place. And whether it's healing of our bodies, healing of our finances, healing of our expression of creativity, our passions, a relationship we might be in, or in relationship to anything. It's knowing that that's already so, and that we are revealing it. So let's just take a moment together to just close our eyes and take a moment and a breath to center in our heart space. Sometimes just slowing our breath down and just being in that presence and joining me in consciousness here as I just speak my word, knowing that power and presence of spirit is always here, that divine creator, that divine source is just expressing itself through all of creation, wanting to express itself through all of creation, uniquely through each and every one of us. And I know that's what's happening right now and is always happening. No matter what experience we're in, we have the opportunity to remember that and rise out of that experience into a higher plane of consciousness where all creation takes place. And I know and claim that in each and every moment that's what is happening for us, for our highest good, that divine right action is in place. And whether it be our health, we are always perfect health, no matter what, whether it be our prosperity, our finances. I know that there is a support system called the universe that backs us 100% of the way and is always there for us to call up and always supports us. It never, never, ever lets us go. It's always holding us in its embrace. And I know that there is a passion that is the passion of spirit within each and every one of us that is longing to express, and nothing can hold that back. Nothing. I know that the expression of that passion, that creativity moves forth right now through each of us. Divine right action is in place, and that any relationship that we are in is whole, it's in harmony, it's in balance, it's in order, especially the relationship to ourselves. The relationship to ourselves, that divine self, that inner you, that child within us, Patrick calls it, is always there, ready to greet us with love. So I know all these words that I have spoken are definitely our truth. And I know that they are moving now into law, as law, just manifesting in the perfect right way for each and every person. That divine right action is in place. So knowing this, I just give such gratitude and mahalo for this time together, for the manifestation of these words that I've spoken in each life, and for the perfection of that unfoldment, for that involution and evolution just happening right here and right now in each of us. We are safe, we are guarded, we are guided, we are protected. And so I just release my word, I let it go as we affirm together. And so it is.
And before we tune up, I had a little download during that beautiful treatment, and I was thinking of a Spidey song when he said, Spider-Man, Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. But I was thinking of us, all of us, each of us, each of us, each of us can do whatever spirit can, because we are spirit.
And so let us remind you who you are.
You are magnificent.
So thank you for joining us today, and we love you, and we know that all is well, all is well.
And
all
we will
is well.
see you
So
soon.
we'll see you next time.
Aloha.
Aloha.